Pantone Color of the Year always sets the tone for our trends in hair, in fashion, in home, and let's get started on an idea for hair today. Hello everybody, Donna Ogazalik here. I am an educator with East Coast Salon Services, and I am so excited to bring to you today the Pantone colors. Yes, you heard me if you're not aware. Pantone Color of the Year for 2021 is actually two colors, and they chose a gray and a gold together. So what this represents is the gray is representing rock solid, symbolizing strength, while yellow is representing hope and optimism. So I'm going to be doing a technique today, something interesting, just something that you can use with any color combination, but I just thought, let's get going with this. I was gonna do block colors with other colors in between, and I thought, no, we had a rough 2020, right? So let's kind of move into a very pure, with our intention of strength and optimism and hope for 2021. Let's get started. Okay, everybody, we finished the pre-cut and I pre-lightened our mannequin head. She's actually showing up a little bit more gold on the video than she is in real life, but there is actually, I'd say, like a yellow gold tone to this. And I only really wanted to lift her to a level 9 because remember, I'm doing kind of like, not a deep gray, but it's not silver. I also have the A11 and I also have a 1011, but this silver, our A11, which is our intensifier, it doesn't have the blue base. So if you're using a gray that doesn't have a blue base or a stronger gray, I absolutely would pre-tone. So I tested this in the back just to make sure that I have the kind of gray tone that I'm looking for, and I do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do our technique. And it's okay that I have a very strong gold, and so this little bit of peachy in there is actually going to help solidify a real pretty golden tone on the hair. So let's get started. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the tools I'm going to be using today. I actually have on the Framar Blackout gloves in black, and I love these. These fit so well. And I feel like I have nice control with these gloves. They're not too tacky and are very flexible. I also am going to be using the Framar Manic mesh today. And I like doing meshes when I'm doing block color. It just is so easy because you're not taking the time and folding things. You just kind of lay one section upon another, and it helps keep the color very neat and organized. Because with block color, the whole thing isn't like a balayage where you want to melt or anything like that. You truly want to separate the colors. So again, I'm using the Framar Manic mesh, and the last Framar thing I'm using is going to be the Power Painter when I'm doing the front section. So let's go through the sectioning and how we're going to do this. So you know how a lot of the I could have gone with, you know, half the head gold, half the head gray. That was fun. And then you can do little zigzag painting or zigzag parts so that it kind of bleeds into the next. You'll have on your gray, you'll have little bits of the yellow and then little bits of gray. If you do a zigzag part, that's fun. But then I kind of thought this was neat because it's a block color. I know the trend is a little bit of a thicker kind of money piece in the front, but what if we went way thicker and something a little bit different? I'm gonna actually move the camera down a little. So we're gonna go off of a center part and go back just maybe about a ½ an inch off of the face frame of the hairline. And I'm going to do like a triangle. I always find that it's better to kind of have a place where I want to go. So I'm gonna check out my angle. I'm gonna actually go down a little bit. So about a ½ an inch to about the front here. And we aren't gonna go any further back than right around the ear. So I found the ear, I can feel it, it's right in here. So we have a nice little diagonal. I don't know if you can kind of see that. So what I'm actually gonna do is pin this out of the way, and this will help me, because what I'm gonna do next is create almost like a semicircle or an arc. So we kind of have the triangle into a rounded section. So I'm gonna pull some of this hair out of the way and make trace like a little semicircle with my comb, with the tail of the comb, and ending with the rounded section right about where the ear begins from behind. Can you see? I don't know if you can see here. So right there's the ear. And if I take this section, you can see that it's rounded. So I kind of took like a straight line into a rounded arc. So what that's gonna be is a really big bold area, not just a face frame, but this whole bold area. So when this top portion lays over top from up here, that's gonna kind of filter through some of the gray, but if you wanna curl it or choose to curl the hair back, you're gonna have more of the pop. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same on the bending down the mannequin head right here, just so you can see the nice V section that I created, or the triangular section towards the face. I created a diagonal line from the center part down a little bit, and then created an arc from the end of that diagonal line to behind the ear there, and doing the same, matching it completely on the other side. So the color line I'm using, everyone, it's Baco by Kaaral, and I am using straight intensifier, which means that it's pure yellow tone without any level. And I also just showed you the Manic mesh Framar sheets, and I just fanned them out nicely on my tray. It makes it really easy to grab, just taking the top corner and laying it into place. Next, I begin to clearly define my sectioning. You can see that I did a rounded around the arc. I painted a clear line where the diagonal is, and we just want to do a thorough saturation. And by defining the line, everybody, it's going to take a lot of the work out of it for you for having a really pretty shape to block color, because we have a straight edge, but then we also have the roundness of the arc there. So just kind of working it in until all the hair is saturated and the shape is defined. And I like to do the other side with the gray when I begin the sectioning. So basically, it's almost like when you color in when you're a little kid, you know how you color around the edges very definitely, so you know not to color outside of the line. It's almost like doing that. I'm also going around the hairline just to kind of make sure that I have a thorough and beautiful saturation of the pigment. And I'm going to continue to do that all the way around the hairline. Once I do that, then we're going to begin with the meshes, working in small sections just to make sure that the hair is thoroughly saturated in a nice, neat, and clean way when we're doing block color. Okay, so I have saturated about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of a panel, and it's going to depend on the density of your client's hair. I lay the mesh down first and lay the saturated strand on top of the mesh, keeping the pigment off of your client's face. And I find that I keep a towel that's dampened just to kind of wipe the excess off of my hands, because see, that way I can, the strand that I'm actually lifting up and above and out of the way, I'm not going to mistakenly have hair color on that that's going to get into the section that we want gray. So I'm going to continue that on both sides of the head, keeping everything neat and clean as we go, and contained within our color blocked segment. right now what I'm doing is working the gray around the edges of the hairline, keeping it completely separate from the gold. I'm going to do that all the way around the perimeter. Moving on to the back section that we have sectioned out, I'm also subsectioning that into two sections, keeping the top from around the round of the head to the front, because that I'm going to start laying in a different direction, but this is keeping things simple. So as always, working in smaller sections, 1/4 to 1/2 inch sections, depending on the density of your client's hair, but the smaller the section, you're going to get better saturation, which is the name of the game in hair color, right? So I want to talk to you also a little bit about the level that you lift to and whether or not you would tone. So you remember in the beginning of this video that I did a trial section because I did question even when you're lifting to like a level 9, sometimes it has a little bit of that orange cast to it. And now I knew that my Baco 8.11, which is a level 8 double ash, I know that that is a very strong blue-based ash, and it gives you a nice gray effect on pre-lightened hair. Now, if I took that hair color to a white and bright, like if I had taken it to, say it was pale yellow and I toned it to platinum, you were going to get a crisp, clear gray that had a slight blue hue to it. So I know that it is for color correction. I can get steel gray. If I wanted to do 10.11, it looks gorgeous, but at a level 8, I wanted to maintain a little bit of the gold tone for the gold in the front. And I could also partially tone. If I wanted to leave the gold in the front, I could certainly do that, and then tone with one of our blonde toners to achieve more of a platinum or tone down that peachy color that was left behind. But because I was using our double ash, I had a feeling that it was going to be strong enough to cancel out the golden tones in there. What to me, gold is yellow and orange. So I knew that was going to, you can already see around the head, it's already taking on a beautiful gray where I edged out the shape so that it doesn't bleed into the yellow. I just made a nice clean line that's going to create a little barrier for us, but that is already taking on a gorgeous gray tone. Always remember, friends, a good rule of thumb when you want to use gray is to make sure that you eliminate the warmth in the hair. In this case, I knew that my ash was strong enough to eliminate the warmth at the level where I am. However, if you're not sure, do what I did and take a test strand. But in other circumstances, like say you wanted to do the A11, which we featured in the beginning of the video, all I would do is pre-tone the hair. So meaning that I'm going to eliminate the warmth. So whatever color line you're using, you would just want to eliminate the orange and the yellow in the hair so you get a really pretty, cool gray in the hair. So for me, with the Kaaral in our Baco Soft, we have a beautiful blonde toner. It is a 0.1, which is our ash, and it will eliminate the warmth in the hair. It has a light silvery blue base, which means it's going to eliminate the orange. If you have a little bit of yellow, you can add a little bit of 0.22, and I would pre-tone with 6 or 10 volume until you get the desired effect that you are looking to achieve, and then you would dry it and then apply your gray right over top. Moving on to the final stages at the top of the head, I'm still taking 1/4 to 1/2 inch sections, and I know I originally said I was going to save the top section and kind of make parallel to the floor from the front of the head sections, but keeping in mind, you can see the clear distinction between the gold and the gray, and I don't want to take an opportunity to marry that together. I want to keep it clearly separate. So I'm making sure to drag my sections all to the back of the head to keep it separate. We are in the final stretches here, almost complete. We're going to allow it to process for 30 minutes from our last section, and you can see here the clear definition between the precision of the gold versus the gray. Okay, everybody, I took all the blow dry time and styling time out of here for you, so I just wanted to show you our end result. So you can see it's a little bit more than a face framing by taking the triangular section and going back a little bit further, but it still has the same effect. But the cool thing about this, and we have this lovely, lovely gray, and I only curled to here because I did the really fun curls on this side so that we have some nice movement, and you know, the wind's gonna blow and you're gonna have a little bit of that gray filtering in. But then the other side I did smooth, and the cool thing is just to kind of show you how it has a really neat effect when the hair is flat ironed and straightened. It just has the little underlay and pop of the gold, but yet if you want it a little bit more fun and flirty, a little bit more gold, all you have to do is blow it dry and away from your face, and you get that kind of play as well. Another thing that's super cool is you can make this look a little bit more edgy by changing your part. Now, I already have everything directed, but I think you get the idea. That by, actually, let me use my mannequin stand here because it makes it a little bit easier. But you can kind of see, like if you style the front, you can have a whole golden bang. And you can even, you know, curl this if you wanted to do that. Or, and here you still have a filter of the gray, but there's a lot more of the gold pop. But then when we go over to the other side, it's a little bit heavier gray over here, but yet you can kind of play with the bangs a little bit and maybe, you know, kind of spray them into place so you get a little bit more gold. But kind of fun, isn't it? So I just thought I would give you both styles on the one side of the head. So one side of the head is sleek and smooth. You can kind of see the gold a little bit better. Actually, let me take this up. It's funny, I started this morning and it's already starting to get dark out, so it's affecting the light. I hope you guys can see this okay. And then we also have the pretty curls. So I may just go style the other side just so you can kind of have the whole, so it's symmetrical for you to see. So anyway, I hope you've had fun, and I'll be right back with showing. Thank you for your time today, and I hope that you found a little bit of inspiration of where you can begin with the Pantone colors of the year. Be sure to reach out to your East Coast Salon Services district salesperson. You can call customer service at 1-800-257-7104 or eastcoastsalon.com. Take care, everybody. Happy 2021.